welcome back. All right, this is going to be a single storyline. And for the single storylines, we assume that our character is fully single. I like to start out, actually, let's go with a map. Like it's time to set destinations. It's time to look into directions that maybe our character wants to go. So let's go ahead and start it out that way, shall we? We have got Gentle Gardener, card number 2. So if our single individual is they're cultivating a much better I'll say life, not just for themselves but for the things that are important to them. Mackin and Stingray, good to see you. It's been forever. Red Empress, you're first in the house. Hey Trina, hey John Little. Oh, so good to see everybody tonight. But this Gentle Gardener, you see that this like elder is looking down at these little eggs, and the little eggs are hatching little fairies here. So we have this. I don't even know that I would suggest that it's that our lead character is the one making their life a little calmer, a little sweeter. I feel like this is representing like the universe is saying, hey, our lead character could use a little bit of help from the fairies. It's almost like this benevolent force, maybe Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, a great spirit, whatever name you choose to give to a higher power, is kind of like saying, hey, our lead character has maybe done an awful lot in their lives, and maybe it's a time that they actually have a little bit of support of a whole different varieties. I feel like this is going to be something that our lead character doesn't even realize they have been cultivating for themselves, because it's coming almost like a gift from the universe. Now, alternatively, this could also be maybe our lead character is a very old soul. They could be young and be an old soul, or they could literally be a more advanced age, and it is they that are looking out over the things in their life that they want very much to like nurture right now and really see kind of come into fruition. But they would be very special, very sweet moments of life, or very there's a nice, well, obviously I was going to say there's a gentleness. Well, yeah, it's called Gentle Gardener, right? But this is the direction that our character is moving toward. Let's expand on that. Let's just see. We'll get one out of a chakra deck, because I want to take a look at the energy. This is the energy for our character, not necessarily what they're emitting, but the energy for them. The High Priestess. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that first interpretation, where I think our lead character has a benevolent force around them. They are subtly aware of it, but they may not know just how tapped into this universal flow they truly are. The High Priestess is this is somebody who maybe they've been honing their skills of intuition, and at this point they're pretty spot on. At this point, they're realizing that's kind of a divine gift. And this could be just about anything. Maybe our lead character is recognizing that they have an intuitive gift, but also that they direct in very specific ways. Remember those little fairy eggs hatching out? This could be someone who's kind of realizing, the more advanced I become, whether that's in age or just in skill set or knowledge and wisdom, the more I'm aware that there is a certain like magic to the fabric of the universe, and I'm able to kind of touch that magical fabric of the universe in a way not everybody else is. Maybe it's an advanced enlightenment situation, or maybe it's an advanced age. Whatever this is, I feel like this person is kind of starting to recognize the gifts that they actually possess, and they're becoming more aware and more attuned to the fact that there is some wonderful, like I'll say like a wonderful source of divine knowledge that they are directly kind of tuned into. It's like they found the perfect radio frequency to be dialed into this, and they're just now really awakening to it, really becoming aware of it. And I think it's probably because lots of things are falling into place for this character. By the way, that is also the house of willpower, because the yellow around this chakra card is representing the solar plexus. So that's our character has decided to pursue this. They have decided to be tapped into these things. And now that they're realizing, I've intentionally and subconsciously gravitated towards certain things during my lifespan. And now here I am recognizing maybe I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Maybe this is also, that first card is card number 2. I just feel like our character is, I want to say they're very much, they've become very whole. It's like they are themselves, and then they are that other half of that energy, which in this case is going to be like the divine energy flow, the divine source, whatever you believe or don't believe in. Please know, you are most welcome here. I personally am not a religious individual. This has a spiritual tone to it. I wouldn't call myself spiritual either, but I can still enjoy a storyline like this because I find it very soothing, very sweet. Uh, we've got a 9 of wands, so our lead character is also, they're on a gentle path. This is not them. You notice how this person is like super buff. This is a warrior, a fighter. This is somebody who has found their power in a whole different energy. Our lead character is in a gentle energy. By the way, our lead character could associate with like Piscean, Cancerian, and Virgo kind of energy. But it's interesting because there's a completely different energy, every bit as powerful as their own, but different. This person has been maybe, instead of finding a way to connect with the universal flow in a gentle way, this character is coming across as a warrior. 2 of swords, 6 of pentacles in the reverse. Interesting. So here's this storyline, to me now, is speaking of our lead character, our single individual, has recently tapped into the gifts that they possess, and they're going to get a chance to use them. They are going to get a chance to meet someone who has lived a different kind of powerful life, where they believed they always had to be ferocious, and maybe they did. Maybe this person has had a life of hard knocks, and they have had to fight for everything they got. They had to fight for their freedom. They had to fight for other people. Maybe this is the warrior in the truest sense. They think everything, like maybe they're a defender. So someone with a proud heart, a good heart also, but they appear to be someone who has been completely blocked to the idea that anyone is going to have their back. If that's who our lead character is going to be encountering, all of their gentleness, all of their intuitive energy is going to probably be really necessary. Maybe that's why they're about to meet and be matched to this person. This is like polarity. This is like, I am the soft, kind of like whisper on the wind, and you are like the fire that consumes it. And yet this person may not even know how badly they need our lead character, just like fire needs oxygen. It's just interesting because their power comes from a whole different place, and they have been pretty blocked off to the idea that anyone is going to give to them, that would even be I feel like this person is, it could be a divine masculine, doesn't have to be. That's just what we see here. It could be a fire sign, doesn't have to be. But they are pretty much of the opinion that they're the protector, they're the defender, they're the warrior, they're the fighter, and nobody gives that back to them. They don't need anybody. They fight their own battles. They don't need anybody on their side. They're used to being the person that's on their own. And meanwhile, our lead character is like, what do you mean we're never alone? I mean, right there, we see like this grandmother energy up in the sky, and our lead character is like kind of in this much more spiritual, like, wow, we're a part of this universe, and the universe actually has our back. And I think that who they're meeting is someone who says, nobody has your back but you don't count on anybody but yourself. No wonder these two are going to be on a collision course. Let's get an energy for whatever's happening between them. I feel like this is not happening yet. It's on its way. Poised. Could that be any more clear, right? If we're poised to take action, it means it hasn't happened yet. It means we've, like a dancer who's poised for the music to begin, and then they're going to go into that motion. And that's literally what we have. You notice how we have this little fairy ready to go into some kind of like ecstatic dance. And remember, these were little fairies that our lead character is hatching out. Our lead character, who seems to be so tapped into the universal flow, so comfortable, so peaceful. And it's almost like they have gathered, without knowing why, they have gathered and maybe become aware of how peaceful they feel, how empowered they feel, how connected to the universal flow they feel, how, I'm going to say, like, I think that our lead character has never felt so powerful as they do right now. And they haven't yet understood, why is it that I'm becoming aware of all of these kind of like more spiritual gifts or spiritual awareness, or just like comfort with my place in the universe? I feel like I'm poised for something. What is it? And it's like, oh, it's them. It's this person that our lead character is about to meet. They have a history that needs to play out with this person. Tell me a little bit more about this. So this is a moment of like, we're holding our breath right before the dance begins. This could become a very beautiful romance. It could become a very beautiful, like, two human beings interacting with each other and giving one another new perspectives. We've got an Eight of Wands in the reverse. Again, with the poised energy, it's these two may not really even begin with communication. They may begin with an awareness of one another. The way I'll go to and use this as an example. My dog is aware of things going on that I can't see. He knows when there's, the smell of another animal has been around. He knows when there's someone way far away, and he will be aware of things. I feel like, remember, our lead character is a high priestess. She's definitely going to sense the energy in them. Words are not necessary. What is that song? Words are very unnecessary. They can only do harm. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed. Oh, wow. The Lovers. Okay. So these two are drawn to one another's very different energy and power. Like I said already, the polarity, the North and the South Pole, they are a beautiful, like, together, they basically harness completely opposing kinds of power. But if we were to put those two together, man, that could be quite the energy flow. It's interesting because these two may have an instant connection as soon as they meet, even though there's not communication. It begins with like an immediate, it's like, okay, so this is going to be this is going to go down the road of like a Barry White song. I feel like they see each other and they immediately have an image of that kind of intimate embrace, that kind of energetic exchange. They may not even say hello to each other instead. And I'm not talking lust based. It appears that way, but that's not what we're talking about, because we've already set the stage for the polarity between these two and the reason they might be drawn to one another. I don't know if I've explained that very well, but there is like a Tower in the reverse. It's a little bit like these two perhaps are going to be immediately drawn to each other for a sensual purpose, but it's also like a divine sensual purpose, which I would argue that is a divine energy flow in the universe. To be able as a human being to connect with a partner at an emotional and intimate level is a very divine, very beautiful thing. And it's so interesting because although the two of them seem to be polar opposites, for them to come together or for them to see this spark in one another without even communicating words yet, it doesn't create like some crazy clash and mixed up emotions. It actually, strangely, kind of brings both of them to I'm going to say a sense of peace and belonging. The Tower's in the reverse there. There is no clash. There is no upheaval. Remember, they have always felt like, what do you mean? I'm a warrior. I'm a fighter. I don't expect anybody to give me anything. And our lead character, that high priestess, says, the universe is always giving us something. We have life. We have the ability to like interact. I mean, these everywhere around us are intangible gifts. It's a gift of energy. It's a gift of power. And so I'm wondering if these two are having like some significant dialogue without any words. I don't know how else to explain that part. Let's go a little bit further for the energy between them. A King of Wands and the Hermit in the reverse. You know what it really boils down to for this? I'm going to say that our high priestess, remember when I said at the beginning, our high priestess, I'll say she, just because a high priestess is divine feminine energy. And it looks like our warrior character might have been a divine masculine. And we're kind of doubling down on that concept right now. And when I say divine masculine feminine, I just mean yin yang energy. I'm not talking genders. But our divine feminine over here, our high priestess, I said in the beginning, it's like she has realizing that she's been like kind of collecting these maybe spiritual gifts, spiritual understanding. She's reached a point where she's feeling very fulfilled, like she's really tapped into the universal flow. That is because meeting this person. I'm not going to say it's a test per se. I'm going to say that she needed to be, when we train for any event, we're preparing for whatever the event is we're going to do. I'm going to run a 5K. We get ourselves ready for it. So it's like she knew she was prepping for something, but she didn't really know what it was going to be. Well, it's them. She needed to have all of her strength, all of her energetic field perfectly attuned so that when she met them, who this divine masculine who's always insisted, nobody gives to me. I do everything on my own. I'm a warrior. I'm a fighter, and I don't expect anybody. And I even block it. I block the idea that anybody's ever going to really play a major role in my life. I think this person has been like, you don't come near me. And guess what? Here we see them as a king of wands all of a sudden. Eskar, thank you. You angel, thank you so much. You are so generous. This character winds up being this incredible king of wands, and they all of a sudden want to share. They want to communicate. Remember, this is the person who staunchly said, what do you mean? I absolutely reject the idea that anybody fights for me or that I have a life story that I'm ever going to share with anybody else. All of a sudden, they don't want to be that isolated, lonely island. They don't want to be the lone fighter. They don't want to be that anymore. It feels pretty good to simply be seen, for them to be acknowledged by her without even words. This is where I was trying to explain, it's not just like passion, it's not like lust based, even though I think that plays in heavily here, but it's kind of like a soul recognition is what I would say. And I think that's why she had to have all of those elements of her gifts, her ability to understand herself, her gifts, and then to be able to transmit that to another person who is everybody as powerful as she is, but in a very different way. She seems to be very 5D. They seem to be very 3D, but they are able to connect. This is not one of those annoying storylines where it's like, oh yeah, they'll just think about each other a lot and never actually interact. No, this is like the perfect balance of the 5D blending with the 3D, because they have their own version of power. Maybe it's a defiant power, but that's power as well. Sometimes it requires someone to be defiant, and that's what got them through this life so far. But she's gotten through life probably with her own, steadfast energy, but she's also been developing a different side of herself, not just defiance, but like that power that works with that innermost knowledge. So they both have different strengths, and it makes sense that this is how they match, and that finally this divine masculine, they've met someone who matches them in a totally different way, and that's why it's totally perfect. That's why this is who they want to open up to. This is who they want to show that passion to. This is who they want to communicate with. Very different energy on this. This was probably one of my, I don't know, probably in my top 5 favorite single storylines. They're always some of my favorites that I do. I try to put these out every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, but that's always the goal. And I always enjoy these ones so much. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you do enjoy my fictional storytelling, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It lets me know you enjoy the channel, want me to keep doing it, and then I will. I was so behind last night. So many, sometimes life goes upside down and then it just keeps getting worse. I had a day and a half like that. And so we're kind of mellowing things out and getting stuff back on track. But I'm behind in a lot of things, including my enjoyable time with storytelling. So I want to do a lot of that tonight, and I will see you guys in the next videos. Lots of love, everybody, for being here tonight. And I will see you in the next couple of videos that I post. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you again, Eskar, and thank you, everybody, for being here. You guys are amazing. Oh, May, hello, darling. Ongoing Awakening. Good night, honey. Sophie's in the house. Bruce Reed, VVE Frequency. It is my pleasure. Hey, Jen. CT Smith. So many of you guys. I've known you for so long. Thank you, everybody. Hey, Jamie. All right, you guys. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.